Welcome to the first and the worst live ops hour that I will ever make, because this is my first. And it's a wild ride. It's been a wild ride to get here. But ops hour, what is ops hour? And it may be an hour, it may be 30 minutes, it may be 45 minutes, it may be 10 if the lights go off and this goes kaput, so I don't know. But what is Ops Hour? Ops Hour is a time where you and I are going to spend together, and we are going to dive deep into SaaS operations. And every week, once a week, potentially Tuesdays, depends on the feedback that I get from everybody, we will tackle a specific subject. And today's subject is pretty cool. I can't wait to present it. But essentially, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get tactical. There's a lot of content out there on the web that talks very high level about things. We are going to get very tactical around a lot of these topics. And I'm excited. To start. So, today, we're going to talk about sales and marketing alignment. Oh, the yin-yang of the business world. Working together, they're a revenue generating powerhouse. But when they're misaligned, they can be a multi-million or trillion-dollar destructive force in any organization that needs them. And who needs them? Everyone needs them. Everyone needs marketing. Everyone needs sales. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Rodrigo Fernandez, and I help SaaS founders and their leadership teams scale their businesses by streamlining teams and their operations. And I'm on a mission, and I need your help. I'm on a mission to help 100 early stage SaaS companies reach $10 million by the end of 2025. So that's what it's all about. And as I mentioned, today's episode is on sales and marketing alignment. And here's a sobering truth, all right? Studies estimate that a staggering $1 trillion, 1 trillion with a T, is lost globally every year due to poor coordination between sales and marketing teams. So why don't we unpack the impact of this massive misalignment, this silo generating beast, and then let's explore how we can bridge that gap. And I'm going to offer you 3 tactics that you can employ right now for 10x growth. Let's do that. So, what's the cost of this misalignment, and why are marketing and sales teams so misaligned? Typically, or generally speaking, sales and marketing report to 2 different individuals in an organization. And that's the beginning of the story of why they grow into silos. You have a marketing team, potentially director of marketing or a VP of marketing that reports into a CMO. And you have a director of sales or VP of sales that reports into a CRO. And somewhere in the clouds on this 50,000 foot organization, CMOs and CROs sometimes clash as well. They suffer victims to the misalignment. And so that's really the beginning. To solve for that, and here's a bonus, have both sales and marketing report into the same person, whether that be a CRO or a CMO or the CEO if you're a much smaller organization. Have both of them report into the same person. I was doing some research preparing for this presentation, and I found some really interesting stats. And so one of them is by HubSpot. HubSpot's research found that over 52% of sales professionals blame misalignment for lost sales and revenue. And I've seen that firsthand. We have marketing on one side, positioning the product in one manner, and then you have sales telling a completely different story, and that just creates complete dissonance when it comes to the buyer journey. Marketing is there to generate leads, but if those leads are not qualified or don't resonate with what sales needs to make the sales and the customer, they're going to end up in dead leads. Marketing can generate all of the demos that they want and all of the trials that they can dream of, but if none of those demos or trials actually belong to the ICP of the business and sales is not aligned with that, they're gonna go nowhere. They may end up buying, and your activation rate, your conversion rate may appear to be okay, but they're not gonna last a month, 2 months, 3 months. So one of the things that you have to do is ask yourselves, how are my marketing and sales teams aligned? You can actually see that on the funnel because you can look at the 3-month retention. Measure retention at 3 months and then at 6 months, and see what your retention rate is. If your retention rate is high, is low, then you definitely have a problem between sales and marketing. There are also a ton of missed opportunities because ineffective transfers between marketing and sales can result in missed cross-selling, in upselling opportunities. It can result in very poor customer nurturing opportunities. We're not even talking about CS at this point, and the impact that the misalignment between sales and marketing have on CS. You also have a misalignment between sales and CS, off for another topic, for another video. But disconnected messaging can cause confusion and lead to a lot of customers leaving the sales funnel, especially when the customer is not even expecting a sales funnel. Maybe they're expecting to start a trial and they want to be on their own, but there's nothing in the messaging, there's nothing that marketing is providing, is saying that they're expecting sales to be added into the funnel. And so that all needs to be, that all leads to misalignment. It points to misalignment. So it's important to observe how marketing is introducing your product. Does it align with the way that your sales team presents your product story? Every customer comes for a specific reason to your product, and it's marketing and sales job to be able to tell the story wherever they come from. It's important that they weave in the story of why your product is the absolute must-have that will solve their problems. Sales and marketing misalignment also results in longer sales cycle because this confused messaging and the unqualified leads create friction in sales. And then the sales reps also struggle to convert prospects who haven't even been properly warmed up by the marketing efforts. And finally, reduce profitability. There's a research by Forrester that points out that companies with well-aligned sales and marketing teams grow 19% and are 15% more profitable. So this misalignment between sales and marketing really does impact your bottom line. But let's get tactical. I'm going to give you 3 tactics that will align sales and marketing from an operations perspective, okay? Now, each one of these tactics can on their own 10x your growth if implemented well. So if you implement all 3, you're gonna see some massive turnarounds. If you implement just one and you focus on just one, you're gonna see results. 10x growth. So, the first one, we're gonna shift the focus. we're going to shift the focus. We're going to go from vanity metrics we're going to shift sales and marketing to active pipeline. What does this really mean? You see, in the world of marketing, vanity metrics, we just got to ditch them. They're important, they serve a purpose. But impressions, clicks, demos, trials, MQLs, they're all vanity metrics. Now, some people could argue, well, MQL is not a vanity metric. MQL is important in the sales cycle because after all, they mean marketing, qualified, lead. But the problem with MQLs is that MQLs can mean different things at different stages of the buyer journey. And if your business has a sales-led function and a product-led function or a sales assist function, then MQL is all over the place. It's too high up the funnel. It's a great number to have, to look at once in a while. But if you are to align sales and marketing, you have to start measuring marketing's impact much lower down the funnel. And so for me, what this means is that marketing should be responsible for generating active pipeline. An active pipeline is measured by metrics such as sales qualified lead or even opportunities. So instead of getting marketing to look at top of funnel KPIs only, such as trials or demos. Hey, I generated X amount of demos. What happened, sales? Well, your demos suck. Or, oh, I've generated X amount of trials, sales. Why are you not closing them? Well, because your trials suck. They're not the right ICP, right? That's a natural tension. So instead, what you have to do is get marketing to look at active pipeline. How many sales qualified leads or opportunities, depending on how you've designed your pipeline, and we can talk about pipeline design down the road on another show, but you can look at one of those two and understand how much pipeline is marketing actually generating. There is when you pass on the baton and you say, well, we've provided X amount of dollars of potential revenue dollars in active pipeline via opportunities or sales qualified leads to the sales team, and now it's up to the sales team to close, because now sales has identified that these are qualified and they're potential opportunities. And that is where marketing needs to meet sales. Now, let's talk about leadership for a moment, because in both sales and marketing leads, they need to be ultimately accountable to one number, and that's the same number, and that number is new business revenue. So to solidify the alignment, both marketing and sales leaders, whether those are two directors or two VPs, both marketing leaders need to be accountable to the same key metric, and that's new business revenue. If new business revenue is not hitting target, it's both sales and marketing's problem, not just sales. This shared ownership fosters collaboration and ensures everyone is working towards the same and ultimate goal. So let's shift the focus from the vanity metrics, from marketing, and of course, you as a marketing team, you want to keep track of how many trials you're producing. You want to keep track of how many demos you're producing. You want to keep track of all of that. You also want to keep track of your CAC and your CAC payback period. Super important. But when it comes to tactics and being very tactical about what you're bringing in and the quality that you're bringing in, you want to start measuring your active pipeline, your sales qualified leads, or your opportunities. And as a marketing team, you got to be accountable to those. That's tactic number one. Tactic number two, RevOps. No business is too young for a RevOps team. You see, traditionally, sales and marketing have operated in silos with their own goals and metrics and priorities, all looking into their own spaces, okay? But this often leads, as I've mentioned, to misalignment, finger pointing, and ultimately loss of revenue. What's the antidote to this? A revenue operations team. Doesn't have to be a massive RevOps team, but it's important that you centralize and your efforts, your sales and marketing efforts into a RevOps team. RevOps function as a unifying force in your organization. It effectively dismantles departmental barriers. It promotes a collaborative environment where sales and marketing can seamlessly work together. So here's how to make it possible, okay? Centralized ownership. Let's look at centralized ownership. A RevOps team can take ownership of the entire revenue lifecycle, from lead generation to customer acquisition and retention. Okay, we can eliminate the handoff problem when we have a good revenue operations team to ensure that everyone is accountable. Because at the end of the day, the problem here is about processes and operations. How we are managing the uncovering of what is a true lead and what is a proper lead that will turn into an opportunity, that will turn into a customer, and how are we passing those leads across the sales journey, across each of the departments that are supposed to be hands-on with them. A RevOps team also establishes a single set of key performance indicators that both sales and marketing and CS, and again, I'm not going to touch CS at this point, but both sales and marketing can track KPIs that both sales and marketing can track. These metrics focus on revenue generation, like SQLs or opportunities, new business revenue. So there's a shared focus. Both sales and marketing come together around RevOps, and it just holds both teams more accountable. A RevOps team is also typically a tech-savvy team and manages the tech stack, the commercial tech stack that the entire company operates. From marketing automation to the CRM to data analytics tools, a RevOps team takes care of that. And so what happens is this empowers both sales and marketing to make data-driven decisions and personalize their outreach strategies. A marketing team and a sales team requires very specific types of people. A salesperson doesn't always think marketing, and a marketing person doesn't always think sales. So it's very important to have a RevOps team that is able to bridge both thought processes and is able to implement the right technologies and the right processes in place for both teams to come together. And RevOps doesn't just manage technology, they optimize processes. They identify bottlenecks in the sales funnel. They streamline lead nurturing workflows and ensure clear communication protocols between sales and marketing. And so this creates a smooth and efficient customer journey. And finally, RevOps fosters open communication between departments, because it's no longer one team against what another team says, or what one team is doing versus another team is not doing. Now there's a third party involved. And that third party, the role of that third party of RevOps is to foster open communication between the departments. They are the ones that equalize the playing field, allow them to come to the middle and organize themselves, come together and align. And so RevOps, a good RevOps team will organize regular meetings, will develop workshops, will develop training sessions, because they'll be able to see the gaps in between both teams, okay, and align them. Breaking down silos creates a culture of collaboration. So an organization is never too late or too early to start developing the RevOps muscles. And you don't need 10 people in a department. You need a solid operations person to start a RevOps team. And that person should understand all facets of what I just mentioned. Implementing these strategies, a unified revenue operations team becomes a fantastic bridge between sales and marketing, and they eliminate that multi-million-dollar alignment. Having a RevOps team will pay for itself tenfold. So if you don't have a RevOps team, it's time that you start thinking about it. And then finally, the third solution, or the third tactic that I want to share with you, is actually integrated technology. I want to call it HubSpot. I'm not mentioning Salesforce or, hey, get a CRM, because companies today don't need a CRM. They need HubSpot, and HubSpot is not a CRM, okay? HubSpot started as a CRM and was actually as a marketing automation platform way back in the day, and then they created a CRM. HubSpot is a customer experience platform. And what I love about HubSpot is that it brings together all commercial teams, all revenue teams. You have marketing with Marketing Hub, sales and Sales Hub, yeah, great. But you also have Support Hub, you have Operations Hub. So you can actually bring in sales, marketing, customer success, support all under one roof, and have them all operate from within HubSpot. You can bring in your product data and outline milestones for your customers, and then be able to map those milestones to the success of your customers. You could do so many things in HubSpot. HubSpot seamlessly integrates all of your commercial teams, all of your revenue teams under one platform. So it's more than just a CRM. A lot of companies are not leveraging HubSpot correctly. They stay within Marketing Hub, they use a little bit of the Sales Hub, or sometimes they'll use Sales Hub and they'll do a little bit of marketing automation, and that's it. It's worth investing in a proper HubSpot implementation that your support team can use, that your customer success team can use, that sales and marketing can use together, and that they're looking at the same customers, the same pipeline together. Another great thing about HubSpot is that the sales team can make and receive calls, record meetings, and store all these interactions within HubSpot. And the marketing team can then have access to these recordings to gain insights and learn from the customer interactions. What were the pushbacks? What were those words that the sales team used to make the sale? What were the pain points that the customers were experiencing? All of these things are found in the call recordings. And this transparency just fosters a much deeper understanding between the teams. And I mentioned integrated product data because HubSpot, actually they've revolutionized the way that you can bring in data now into HubSpot. And so you can identify key customer milestones, send that information onto the product, whether they started visiting a particular page within your product or they started using a particular feature and how many times they started to use that feature. You can capture all that information. With that information, you can develop a scoring system and a customer health score that can inform CS, can inform support. You can tally how many customers, how many users are using the product within a particular customer. So if you have a book of business and you're in customer success or you're in sales and you're looking at your expansion over time and you're looking at a book of business, you can keep track. Hey, I sold X amount of licenses to this customer. Are they using it? Are they not using it? Are they expanding? What features are they using or not using? You can find all of that within HubSpot with the right configurations. By understanding all of these customer touch points, teams can tailor their approach to better meet their customer needs and drive growth. So, investing in HubSpot as a customer engagement experience platform, actually, a customer experience platform, is crucial. And it doesn't take a lot. It takes the right team to implement it, the right experience to implement it. But once done, it is game changing. So, how long has it been now since I've been recording? 30 minutes. Hey, not bad. I think I'm gonna end early. But the financial impact of sales and marketing misalignment is just too substantial to overlook. For SaaS companies striving to excel in a competitive landscape, closing this gap is a requirement. And so shifting the focus to active pipeline generation by forming a revenue operations team and by leveraging an integrated technology such as HubSpot, your business can cultivate an environment where both sales and marketing align. Now, you don't have to do this alone. If you don't know how to implement some of these things, raise your hand, I can help you. My comprehensive solutions are designed to help you bridge this divide and unlock your company's full potential. So if you're ready to transform misalignment into a competitive advantage, let's work together to align them. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to figure out on your own. Just give me a call, contact me, and I will help you. All right. I hope this presentation was helpful. This video was helpful. Let me know in the comments. I will be producing a lot more of these. So once a week, expect a live. Not sure yet if it's going to be at this time, maybe earlier, maybe later, depending on your feedback. Do let me know what feedback you have. I really appreciate it. All right. Talk to you later. Take care.